The 7 seals of Revelation aligns with Revelation 3:12. It has a value in English gematria of 2520, which as days is 7 years, and the 312 is Brian 44, Leonard 69, Golightly 115 and Marshall 84 when added all together, totals 312. This ends in the number 7 and the Apis bulls. The first seal opened on December 20th, 2006. It was my stepdaughter's 27th birthday. She was born in Geelong, Australia, when the sunrise to sunset was 888 minutes. Jesus in Greek gematria is 888. Revelation 3:12 reads, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name." And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, "Come and see." The 2nd seal, 1 seal per year until December 20th, 2013. In Arabic, the words from the mouth are likened to modern rapping. In ancient times, in Arabic, it was a jousting of words, today transformed into modern American rapping. In the Aramaic language, to rap was a jousting of expressive language. The clever rapper was regarded as an expert linguistically. Therefore, as Jesus, I spoke in parables to deny the Pharisee the message, but it was known to the masses who were being suppressed. Be that as it may, the symbolic language of the white horse and an archer's bow ties in with December 20th, 2006. So understanding the stars, positions of the constellations, and the 13th constellation removed from modern astrology, mentioned by Nostradamus, Ophiuchus. The first upload on December 20th, 2006 was concerning Nostradamus 13, which is Ophiuchus. December 20th is Sagittarius, a white horse, with the head represented by the upper body of a man aiming an arrow at Scorpio. My first and second wife are Scorpio, and my youngest daughter is Scorpio. My grandfather, November the 3rd, 1872, is Scorpio, and his age when I was born confirms astrology, being 26,000 days older than I, and is the same number in years of the precession of the equinox. The 20th of December is the birth date of my youngest stepdaughter, Rhiannon. Rhiannon is 777 days younger than my youngest daughter, Nicole, who was born November the 2nd, 1977, being 2127 years, and her sister Tracy Lee is 11.626 years older than Rhiannon. The number 7 once again. We have then a time when the scorpion is killed by the arrow of Sagittarius. It, the man's upper body, joined at his waist to the white horse at the horse's neck. The arrow is released from the bow and races across the heavens like an arrow on December the 20th, 2006, to pass through to the 7th seal, December 20th, 2013. The scroll was handed to Christ from the altar in heaven. Then, after his words of truth, the sword from the mouth, the world rejects him as religion is devoured by the Jews. Asteroid and an arrow shape coming at the Earth, clearly seen by amateur astronomers with small telescopes, is now. You see Sagittarius fires the arrow, the 7-year period to the target. Each year another seal is opened. The sword from the mouth of Christ is a two-edged sword. Jesus from 30 AD to 33 AD, then the second edge of 7 years from him as the Christ, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, rejected by all with only a few believers out of a world population of 7 billion. Between the two constellations is Ophiuchus. The serpent of the Jews is wrapped around him in its death struggle, its head and tail in the crushing hands of Christ. The sting of the serpent's offspring stings the heel of Christ as he crushes the body of Scorpio. The dates of the seals are December the 20th, 2006, plus 365 days to 2007, then 365 days to 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, ending on the 7th seal, December 20th, 2013. You can liken it to God created the earth in 6 days, resting on the 7th. December the 20th, 2013, it ends. Then there is silence in heaven for about half an hour. This is a period of 7 days. This is 2,520 days. The period of 7 years is 2,520 days. Christ has judged the earth's religions. Greek 2527 from 2596 and 3650. On the whole, entirely, all. The number 7 is built into creation, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 hills of Rome, 7 mountains of Antarctica, 7 days of creation. Revelation, there are 7 churches, 7 spirits, 7 golden candlesticks, 7 stars, 7 lamps of fire, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 vials, 7 horns, 7 eyes, 7 angels, 7 trumpets again, 7 thunders, 7,000, 7 heads, 7 crowns, 7 plagues, 7 golden vials, 7 mountains, 7 last plagues, and 7 planets and a dwarf star. Verified by disciples who have been watching with telescopes as the stars approach the earth, growing larger each day. Revelation 1:16, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a two-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. Now the 777 number, there are 777 verses with the word city in the King James 16:11 Bible. The last verse is Revelation 22:19, quoting, "And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book." This verse has an English gematria of 1880. Greek dictionary 1880 is from 1909 and 424 to come up on. That is, return, come again, return. The single greatest mystery yet unsolved are 22 huge 70 to 100 ton red granite coffers with lids weighing up to 30 tons. First picture was shot from our roof of the Great Pyramid. The first picture was shot from our roof of the Great Pyramid. These pale into insignificance to what we observe today. And the date is November the 4th, 2013. We left early in the morning to avoid the traffic, a nightmare, and made our way to what are known as the Abbas Bulls, recently opened to the general public. These are massive red Aswan granite coffers with lids. One is black granite, that's from the Sudan. These are all underground in an area called Saqqara and housed in the Serapeum tomb. Here's the Great Pyramid from our rooftop, the altar to the Lord in the midst of Egypt. On the way to the Apis Bulls, we pulled in behind 2 trucks, each with 3 camels, 6 camels altogether, sitting quietly in the back. They certainly did look to be enjoying their ride there. To give you some idea of incompetence in the Great Pyramid King's Chamber, in order to reduce the moist air given off by panting tourists struggling up through the ascending passage and Grand Gallery, the authorities had workmen jackhammer a hole in the wall where the air shaft had been built into the 5,000-year-old structure. The wall collapsed with a 2-metre square falling off it. The hole allowed a fan to be set in it. They never thought to place a box fan against the wall on the outside and achieve the same venting. Now, arriving at the Saqqara area, armed security shook us down. They had the sniffer dogs, didn't they? What was that at Mina House this afternoon? What did they have? Didn't they do the same? Yeah, they had... The army at the gate. Yeah, the army at the gate. Yeah, they needed the practice as we were the only tourists out of Saqqara. Oh, it's sad. I'm not laughing, it's sad. At the ticket office, incompetence reigned supreme. We paid the £80 each and proceeded to the Apis Bulls, to park on a hill, then tread the burning sands, finally reach the entrance, to then be told we had to have different tickets to go inside. Back across the desert, noticing a road we could have walked down, back to the car and back to the ticket office 3 kilometres away. As it turned out, we had a miracle occurring, the ticket numbers. You may recall our pyramid tickets on our first entry into the pyramid. They were the antechamber width numbers, ours being 1162 and the other 2 1163 and 1164. So what have we got? We've got the Serapeum tomb of 3640 and 3639 on the extra £100 each. 3640 is 70 years times 52 weeks. Greek from 3641 and 4102, incredulous, that is, lacking faith in Christ, of little faith. Now the Muslims pray 5 times a day, yet suffer in a world of insanity where poverty and disease is the will of Allah, where not one prayer mentions Jesus, practicing like Christians in an extension of Judaism. Hebrew 3640 from 3639, disgrace, shame. Okay, now on with some serious miracles. Incompetence. The same applies to the Apis Bulls coffers. All are damaged in some way by attempting to lift the lids by driving wedges. Some still have the timber wedges driven into the space between the lid and the coffer. Others have driven wedges into the gaps to then hammer crowbars in between for a lever. The following photograph, it appears it was damaged by either a jackhammer, then pounded with sledgehammers, or even dynamite. Were they looters or simply incompetent workers following orders from the Antiquities Department? Very hard to say, as truth here is as rare as the gold they're expecting to pour out. We're actually told that the minister in charge is on a $200,000 payroll. Yeah. Each year, a $200,000 payroll from National Geographic, another Jew-owned magazine. So they control all the information that comes out of any of the digs around here. So here we have it. To give you some idea of size, the blocks are all large enough to park a car within if hollowed out. The largest is over 2 metres tall without the lid, 6 feet 8 inches. The length and width measures 2.4 metres wide, 8 feet and 6 metres long, or around 16 feet plus, or minus. Although the incompetence of the Egyptians uncovering the massive coffers, some damage to each, one showing the lid pulled back and the interior removed in a way that it appears to be some form of laser, leaving the walls about 300 millimetres or 12 inches thick. We were able to catch the reflection of the mirror finish and the corners of the coffers and lids, which are precisely 90 degrees and laser straight edges. We had to bribe the guide so we could use our cameras. Or rather, wasn't it he that suggested that we... yeah. We could use our cameras for bakshish. Mirror finish on them. The engineers have built these massive steel cradles to hang cranes to lift the 30-ton plus lids from the coffer. I thought they were there to hold the the whole structure up, but yeah, no. They're cranes to lift the lids, of course. Well, they could do both, as I said. Anyway. The rough attempts to lift the lids cracked off pieces, dropping back onto the coffer, requiring a smarter way. Egyptians are expert at stuffing things up. You can see the straight edges. I looked along all I had access to, and all edges are laser straight. This one has damage to the end of the lid. Then they built the massive steel frames to lift the lid. Yeah, these frames are incredible. All paid for. A German arms, Osman. The straight edges and the damage caused by incompetence. Now, the next slide will be the tunnels. The plastic window in the floor shows the rough floor of the tunnels. Yeah, every few metres they have these plastic windows so you can see the rough floor underneath. The narrow sides and turns make it impossible to navigate, and that is the point. How did the angels get them into the tunnels, then around 90-degree bends, and then 90-degree into the caves, and lower down into the pits without damage? The Egyptians have not the slightest idea. Simply put, they are too stupid to comprehend the impossible, let alone pause to ask any questions. Their conclusions, wait for it, they were coffins for mummified bulls. Or how these massive granite stones levitated over a mountain 500 miles up the Nile. I lied to our guide today when I looked at him and remarked how intelligent you Egyptians are. Here are the... Totally. Here are the passageways. It really is an incredible place. And the perspex windows in the floor. See what is underneath. This is the massive coffers and lids showing the massive steel frames. There's Yah. Make out what that is behind you on the... Is that just the rough? Hasn't been bricked in. It's like a fleece. There's a straight edge where the lid sits on the coffer. One cannot place a playing card in between. And there's all kinds of digs going on. The second fellows at the tea temple today were telling us about the other excavations that are happening by the Japanese that the public isn't aware of yet. Quite a lot going on. We were the guard was wondering if we wanted to actually get into one of the coffers, have a sleep, put our head on that pillow, that photo of. Passage has a rough, that would have been more backsheesh. The passage has a rough, unfinished stone, showing just enough room to walk on the one side. Yes, really, in the middle of this passage. An odd shape, it's not square at all, it's just there. Rough cut straight out of the quarry, and it's just there. How heavy do you think that one would have?
That would be
100 tons? Yeah. Oh. It's me. In the next set of slides, I have enhanced photos on the computer. This is black Aswan granite. Yeah, well, you've got Aswan. The black is from Sudan, yeah. So the black granite is actually from Sudan. The red is the Aswan granite. Here we are. There's the one with all the damage at the end. So if these were used for mummified bulls, there's been no report of actually having found mummified bulls in there, has there?
What is it?
Oh. Here we are outside again. Now, after the Great Pyramid, every other pyramid looks like it's a kid's playground, just a pile of stones in their vain attempt to copy the Great Pyramid, which of course was built by the angels. It really is very sad.
That's the only bit of greenery in the entire area.
What's it all about, Alfie? There are 22. Each differs from the other. Like the 22 letters of the original Hebrew alphabet that did not have vowels. It was a read-only language. The vowels were inserted by the scribe, Ezra. When I was reborn, I was 22 inches long. My weight, me weight, 9 pounds, 12 ounces, 912 is Seth, and is the average age of the 12 patriarchs, as well as the Hebrew gematria for their names total, 3168, being Lord Jesus Christ in Greek gematria. On the internet, if you hurry before the Jews change it, the latitude and longitude to my rebirth location at 105 Rothschild Avenue, Rosebery, Sydney, Australia, measures 7777 nautical miles from the Abyss Rules.